Taiwan is riding the AI wave to new economic heights. But beyond chips, servers, and stock prices, AI is already changing the work many people do every day. The question is no longer whether AI will affect jobs, but how workers, businesses, and governments will adapt. I'm Shieh, and on Connected on Taiwan Plus, we explore how AI is reshaping the future of work and whether Taiwan is ready for what comes next. To better understand how AI is changing jobs and careers, I spoke with Abby Chang, Assistant Professor at the Graduate Institute of International Human Resource Development at National Taiwan Normal University here in Taipei. I asked her why AI's impact on work has become such an important area of research.
So as a HRD scholar, I do think a lot about talent, careers, and workforce. And actually this really good question coming at perfect timing because I just submitted my final project report that the research sponsored by NTHU, which the research is about predicting the future of work and workforce using the expansion of AI. So this is a very relevant topic. Our earlier study actually using the data that projecting from 2021 to 2031. I believe. So after the study, things changed a lot, so including the introduction of ChatGPT. So this is actually, I would say, the second wave of AI that generative AI make AI be more accessible almost everyone. And it is distributed more widely and also more accessible to everyone. So yeah, I would say it does change a lot. And compared to our early study, actually for the growing archetype at the time, we have three archetypes identified by XAI. So those are creatives, sages, and wizards. So which represent the work like creative production and for knowledge creation and also applied science. But these three archetypes actually disappear from our newly identified category for fast-growing work type. So, right, I think this is the impact by a lot of impacted by the generative AI because as you can imagine that a lot of like knowledge-based work and content creation and technical production, those things are being able to perform by Gen AI nowadays. So yeah, it's also highlighting the necessity of updating this kind of future of work prediction over time. So I'm glad that I have the chance to talk about this topic.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of people are worried about how their jobs are getting overtaken by AI. Do you think that in Taiwan we talk honestly enough about the risks of AI for employment? Or are we just mostly still focused on the economic upside because of our chips industry, like you just mentioned?
I would say sometimes I have the analogy of AI is like the blue pill and red pills.
Yeah.
Right. So people they just turn the blind eye and not seeing the world. And whenever they hear about AI making a mistake or have some like problems or issues occur, and then they become like post AI, not using AI, not hearing about that, like it's risky, it's dangerous, it's kind of replacing our work. And there's another side that people are over optimistic, like having the fantasy of AI, that AI can achieve anything. At this moment, probably not that realistic. The fundamental reason for this happen, these two extremes, is actually the lack of neutral understanding of AI. So I think we need to see both the darker sides of AI and also what this AI can be capable of.
We often hear people say AI won't replace you, but someone using AI will. Do you agree with that statement?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's true and false. The truth is, yes, now almost every job we can do better with AI. It makes things easier. So yeah, if you can use AI well to help with your work, definitely you are in a better place for people who cannot use. So yeah, that's the truth. And for the false, I have to say that we are at the very beginning stage of the AI development, and to the point when AI gets into its maturity, AI may be able to make AI. Nowadays, AI can do coding, sometimes being more efficient than humans, right? So we do get this early sign from the layoffs. Recently, we heard from news like layoffs from Microsoft and Oracle and other big tech company like Meta, as I can remember. So there is a possibility that people even can use AI, but eventually being replaced by AI. But I would not say that jobs being taken over by AI. Actually, job itself is a composition of different kind of tasks, actually. What we do in jobs, actually, there are so many things we do in a job, right? And these are tasks. So to the task level, AI take away those tasks, or AI can execute those tasks instead of people executing those tasks.
Yeah.
But not the entire job. But job itself, the boundary actually can be dissolved. This composition of tasks, this combination of a range of tasks can be different. So job will look very differently from now. That's the reason why, because people are doing different things in a job specifically.
So I want to jump on that idea that jobs will change in the future. Taiwan is known for being hardworking, right? We are very well educated, we're very exam driven. But do you think that Taiwan's education system or that the workforce culture are preparing people well enough to adapt to the AI era where adaptability and creativity is rewarded?
Right. So that's very interesting. Hardworking in many ways is actually good character, good quality. I think it also the quality that make us the so-called like Taiwan miracle today, right? So and actually when Taiwanese company they try to expand to global, we found it's difficult to replicate this success experience to other regions because this quality.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as you said about exam-driven education or workplace culture, so I would say I do see the commonality between the education system and also the workplace culture in Taiwan specifically. The common ground is that there is, based on my observation, there is a low tolerance of errors, I have to say. So, for example, exam-driven. So, exam itself, so traditional exam as we imagine. It has a correct answer, right? Our education is driven by this correct answer. So, it will naturally build our thinking path as at least like one correct answer thinking path. In turns, affect our culture in the end that we are afraid of making mistakes and explore different possibilities because we may want to avoid risk. So this comes to an organizational setting is actually limit the possibility of innovation. So that's how I see this problem, right?
Bringing it back to the schools, you work with a lot of graduate students and undergraduate students. What concerns are you hearing most often from these students?
Yeah, so my students now are graduating. So they are finding the jobs, and I actually keep hearing the complaints about their observation of the shrinking opportunity for the entry-level position that they usually hire the fresh graduate. So I think AI impact a lot because there are a lot of tasks they used to assign to this fresh graduate, less experienced, can be executed by AI and automation. So that's the observation I recently heard a lot about.
Are they worried? Are they worried that there's no entry-level jobs anymore because everything can be done through AI? What are they going to do?
So according to the research that I brought up earlier, actually we see this dissolving boundary between jobs and also the skill bias, so-called skill bias. So actually also presents some opportunity then in a sense, because nowadays those specialized skills and occupations no need to so for example coding. So those kind of skill maybe need to develop over years in order to master, but nowadays it becomes easier. Right? So the barriers is actually down nowadays. So I would suggest them to actually learn something out of the field, more pursue those cross-disciplinary knowledge and skill domain and integrate them into their specific field. I think that's important.
So from the corporate lens, from the HR perspective, how is AI already changing recruitment and hiring in Taiwan?
Company has AI nowadays to do the evaluation of candidate, right? And the other side, the candidate also has AI tools. Just let's be honest. When we write resume, probably we use AI at its polished then, right? And not mention your resume generated by AI. So the way we recruit people, we assess people to see their suitability for your job position need to change as well. Yeah, right. So there is example that I can provide that recently I met the HR manager from banking industry, and he mentioned that in their interview, what they did in their interview is they asked the candidate stay in another room and they will give the interview question to them and allow them to use your phone to check AI with prepare your answer. And then after that, they let them into the interview room and the candidate expect to be asked the question they just received, right? But actually the interviewer just ask not the question they prepared, but the question that they give to the candidate is how you use AI, what kind of prompt you. Yeah, right? So yeah, it's really interesting because I see two key points from the example. So first is that the interviewers actually they are checking the so-called AI literacy, right? So their ability to use AI well. And then also it's kind of very important practice that interviews or assessment when you trying to know about the person's capability, authentic capability, is a live demonstration of their ability. Right. So yeah, so I do see this trend. Actually, overall, it tells that nowadays HR in recruitment is very important to look at candidates' ability of doing their work with AI and also to work without AI.
So if you were to advise policymakers today in Taiwan, what should Taiwan prioritize most urgently to prepare for AI's impact on employment? Will it be education reform, labor protections, lifelong learning, or something else?
If I have to choose one, I would choose education reform based on the lasting impact of education, and more broadly is actually human capital investments of a nation, right? So yeah, education reform. And as a teacher, I can see that the way that students learn becomes very different with generative AI aside, right? So let's take the Bloom's taxonomy for cognitive development as an example that learning happens actually at a different level of cognitive development. So starting with remembering, understanding, and analyzing, applying, and finally creating. Okay? And generative AI just jump straight to creating. Right? So students can easily, they're being tempted away using generative AI to skip all this process and create something, the learning output that not actually reflect their authentic learning. So they came to the class and then submit their report or the outcomes of their class, but not exactly has remembering anything or understanding or applying or analyzing the content. So it's very dangerous, and also that's in turn that I think teaching, assessing today need to change our approach to make sure that all this process actually being experienced by students and they attain authentic learning. Otherwise, I'm really worried about our next generation. There is a quote, I think it was the worst of the time, it was the best of the time, something like that. And there's another quoting that line is, it can be a time for wise or foolish, wisdom or foolish.
That was Abby Chang from National Taiwan Normal University. AI may be transforming jobs faster than many expected, but as Abby points out, the challenge is not simply technological. The questions now are who benefits and who gets left behind. Our contributor, Ambition Film Productions, looks at how workers, educators, employers, and policymakers in Taiwan are responding to that shift.
AI reducing jobs? Complete nonsense. If you can hire a software engineer and you could generate $9 trillion, why wouldn't you want to hire more software engineers?
The reason AI is different, I believe, is we have found a technology that everybody can benefit from. Every single person can use it, every single company can use it.
In Taiwan, the jobs being impacted by AI are actually the ones closest to everyday lives. From administrative and customer-facing roles to design industries and even media editors, one position after another is being redefined by AI. Landon is a former graphic designer who handled a heavy load of projects and witnessed how AI changed the job. He's now a full-time YouTuber. For years, the conversation around AI focused on what the technology could do. Now, attention is turning to what it might mean for workers, industries, and society. We spoke with 4 people on the front lines of the AI transition to find out how these changes are already reshaping work in Taiwan.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Landon。那我过去呢是从事这个平面设计的工作者，然后现在呢我是在做这个美学科普的 YouTuber， 然后我的频道叫美转外框的学艺股长。基本上我觉得设计产业应该是被 AI 发展所冲击到的第一批职业。这个冲击有好的一面，也有不好的一面。就是它好的一面呢，就是 AI 呢，它其实解决了很多设计师过去要做的一些查资料的部分或者是在统整一些东西上，其实是对平面设计工作是有很显著的帮助的但是呢，它也有就是造成一些影响，例如说设计需求没有这么大的一些公司，可能呢就会慢慢的汰换掉一些人力。设计产业那势必呢就是我们做的事情一定会多多少少会慢慢的变少。
AI 在艺术创作所扮演的角色，我想分2个层面来谈。首先是创作的本身，像是可口可乐几年前已经使用 AI 来进行广告影片的制作。那我相信在未来使用 AI 工具的人，只要他有想法、有能力，他能够越快越好的产出越多高品质的作品。但相对的，如果越来越多人的使用 AI， 有可能导致 AI 作品更加的同质性，更加的扁平化。在新的世代中，他们会开始尝试使用 Canva 这些工具 AI 工具来进行创作。设计师是不是有可能在这波 AI 的浪潮中被取代？那我们到底是要继续学习这些设计工具软体，还是学习如何使用 prompt？ 是一个现在我们正在不断探讨中的一个议题。
就是因为大部分的企业只要求70分的东西，他们只需要东西出来看起来好看，看起来清楚。我觉得对于这个环境来讲，确实啊，就是它会让人觉得蛮消磨的。因为环境、这个世界、这个社会不需要你做这么好。那等于是说，如果你想要成为一个真的是独当一面的设计师，或是创意含量很高的设计师，你只能就是把这个成就感就是拿回自己的手上，因为你几乎你不能期待这个环境给予你多高的肯定。
As AI reshapes creative work, educators are also exploring how it can transform learning beyond the conventional classroom.
在教学现场，我曾经做过一个实验，在创作的教学领域中，我们常常会面临评图这样子的验证方式跟评论方式，就会遇到非常多的同学会跟我反映，他们可能会获得不同的教授不同的评图的论点，而其中说不定甚至有矛盾的地方。我们作为老师是否足够客观？于是我开始在我的课程中导入用 AI 来辅助我评图的机制。AI 就非常客观地帮我打出了分数，并且按照我给予的评分标准，给予不同的作品不同的意见以及它评分的依据。AI 可以告诉我，如果要让这些同学们能够做得更好，他们还可以做出怎样的改善。AI 能够提供给学生的建议会更加全面、更加客观。那近年来，我也发现越来越多业界跟企业界已经开始在探讨 AI 能不能导入人资系统，应征人才、员工 KPI 的考评上能够进行更客观的评分。我相信目前在学校的学生毕业后呢，他们面对的就会是一个已经大量导入 AI 进行评分机制的一个世界。
大家好，我是 Jeff。那我是来自于医疗产业的集团人资，在 AI 的领域呢，我有蛮多的想法可以跟大家分享。关于新人进入职场的部分，其实现阶段大学生都还蛮聪明的，所以大部分的应届毕业生其实都还算是能够顺利进入到职场。我对于 AI 取代劳工这件事情比较持反对意见，因为其实 AI 对于我们来说，它比较像是一个支援的工具，那它可以解决掉一些数据问题，或者是基层的行政 routine 的工作，但实际上它并不能取代人性或者是在判断力的一些决策。那这个部分的话，我比较倾向于 AI 它是支援 support 我们工作可以更加顺畅的工具。我觉得这个可以回归到就是每一个科技的起义点，它其实都是一个突破，包含就是我们现在在用的智慧型手机，在一开始我们可能没有想到手机会是我们工作一个很重要的一部分。那 AI 其实对我来说也是一样的，就是如果 AI 的工具它的普及度越来越高，也有相对应的教育训练跟企业的认同度，包含就是国家的政策跟教育的导向。其实如果学校能够尽早培训关于 AI 的运用，其实对于企业方也是有非常大的帮助。我觉得有 AI 加入之后，其实现在雇主呢都更倾向找到的会是即战力，包含就是这个人他是否有具备训练、协调、沟通 AI 的能力。因为其实 AI 对我们来说是一个工具，能够有效的运用它其实是更重要的。如果它没有办法运用到这样子的工具的话，确实是有可能因为时代的关系而受到比较多的没有办法做发展的地方。那在以员工发展的角度来说，如果它具备这样的软实力，其实对于我们企业方来说是更加分的。对于这个政府在 AI 相关政策跟人力招募上面的话，我觉得还有很长的一段路。
Ju-chun is a tech entrepreneur turned politician. He's now a legislator representing the Kuomintang, Taiwan's largest opposition party. He still works closely with Taiwan's software industry.
其实，在我们推动 AI 基本法的过程里面，我非常忧心的就是属于所谓的劳动的替代。我自己当时就非常了解，这头猛兽可能会被我们从笼子里头放出来。所有的科技，所有的工具都有危险的一面，我们只要能够好好的掌握它来协作，那么应该是有可能带来帮助的。哪些工作最有可能首当其冲呢？软体工程师，从微软、Meta 到谷歌，都相继在公布说，有超过30% 甚至更高的比例的程式码都已经是由 AI 撰写的。那更不用说所谓的客服或者是服务业，可能会被 AI 会讲电话的 AI， 会关心你的客服 AI， 甚至是会在餐厅里面帮你送餐的服务 AI 机器人所取代。在台湾应该要早一点去看见这样的一个风险，由政府为角度出发，去确保我们的劳动权益，否则会有人失去工作，接着可能会失去家庭，他可能会失去他人生的机会。
Ge campaigned strongly in favor of Taiwan's AI bill, which passed in December 2025. The law establishes the country's first framework for AI governance. But Ge believes that Taiwan's legislature will have to move fast to keep up with developments in the artificial intelligence space and its rapid adoption.
其实有几个非常重要的目的。第一点，我们希望能够达到数位平权，国家不可能去像沙烏地阿拉伯这样帮助每一个国民去支付、去使用免费的付费版 ChatGPT。作为一个政府，应该要有机会去确保每一个国民对于 AI 的差异是有足够的知识跟认识的。还有另外一点，我们希望能够带来的变化，就是资料有价开放。如果我们没有资料，就会使得 AI 不认识台湾，它的大脑里头的思想模型很可能台湾价值是不够充足的。而过去台湾因为受限于版权法，使用资料训练的工程师可能吃重刑。我们还在用太过严苛的版权法规去限制资料被 AI 学习跟训练，对台湾价值完全没有认识，更何况支持。我们应该要一起来因应 AI 为台湾带来的风险以及机会。
AI is already transforming industries across Taiwan. What matters next is how AI is extended beyond the factory floor and into classrooms and everyday tasks, so that today's workforce and the next generation can use AI not just to adapt to the future, but to influence its course.
So, as we've seen, AI may be changing the way we work, but that future is still being written, and Taiwan now has an opportunity to help define what that looks like. Thank you for watching. It has been good to have your company. For more tech and business stories from Taiwan, follow us on our socials, where we keep you informed, engaged, and connected.